a lot of people look at the careers of fighters who take short notice fights and fighters who are always willing to be what they call a company man, someone who kind of just always makes the UFC look good no matter what, right?
Yeah.
Rampage, you're very vocal about certain short notice fights could potentially ruin your career. Mark Coleman had an amazing analogy about how he looks back at his career now and the term maybe journeyman could be associated with his career because he's just out here making money, but he's an incredible legendary fighter. And sometimes maybe he regrets that, not, being a little bit more disciplined on who and why he fights people. Do you feel like I'm not going to say did anything of that nature, but do you feel like that the short notice in your terms doesn't get enough value? Like we heard about you taking a fight a few hours, there's an infamous story from the UFC. Is that true?
Yeah. I mean, 100%. I know for a fact, like my career could have been better had I been more focused on money, had I been more intelligent with my career, maybe had a fucking manager, you know what I mean? And I guarantee, the vast majority of UFC fighters would say the same thing, right? But again, they got all the control. But like for me personally, like my career, I didn't get into this for money. You know what I mean? When I say like I'm about money now, I would go fight for money, but I have other ways to make money. So I don't care if I fight or if I do something else. I'm just making money now. I got a family and shit. But coming up, I never thought about money once, and I think that's a big difference between like boxing and UFC and shit. Like we got the UFC, not knocking them at all, but they've kind of built this culture where like you're respected if you take short notice fights, or like you're a badass, we're gonna reward you and all this shit. But that's why you don't see boxers do that shit, because they're like, bitch, I just want to get a good ass record so I can go make millions. You know what I'm saying? But there ain't no millions in the UFC unless you're, one of like 5 guys.
Yeah, Conor McGregor.
Conor, Ronda, you know what I mean? Yeah. One of 5 different people.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, so most of the guys in the UFC are fighting for respect and honor, like the fucking gladiators in Rome and shit. You know what I mean? Like we ain't all thinking about just money.
Yeah, that's why I was upset with UFC when they took my Reebok deal and they locked everybody into that. It was just like in the sport, you're meant to make more money with your endorsement. Some people was killing. Look at John Jones; he had Nike and everything like
Burger
that.
King. Anderson Silva had Burger King.
Yeah,
Nike, Gatorade, big brands.
Yeah,
but bro, you had Metro, Boost Mobile.
Yeah, I had Boost Mobile.
You had Uggs, Lugs. What was the shoe company?
Yeah, Lugs.
Lugs.
Yeah,
I mean, you had some massive deals though before people even knew what deals were.
Yeah. I'm the first MMA fighter to have my own shoe. I used to have my own shoe.
By who? Who did it?
Osiris.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, you had an Affliction T-shirt that sold more units than probably any other Affliction T-shirt of all time.
I had a Affliction T-shirt selling like mad.
Yeah. I heard a rumor, and you don't have to. You do not have to confirm this, but I heard Rampage's Affliction T-shirt when they launched it did over 500,000 units, 500,000 units in less than a month.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
You never got royalty checks?
Yeah.
Were they big?
Yeah.
Okay, then. Yeah. And I say that voice, the rumor's true.
I don't know. My royalty checks was big, but I'm not going to say no names because I got sued. But one of my managers kind of robbed me out of a lot of that though. But I remember. I remember like some of those checks off T-shirts was like $200,000 or some shit.
Just do the math. If you're getting 8% off a $40 T-shirt, how many do you think he sold?
Right.
That's incredible.
See, that's why I never fuck with a manager too, because I never trusted nobody, man.
Yeah, man.
Nothing.
I don't trust these motherfuckers, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
Did someone play you?
No.
You just knew.
I had a great manager.
Yeah.
But I also knew that, that they're not in for me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because they only make 10%, and then you get a greedy manager. They want it all.
Yeah. Yeah. Like they run their own business too. I know what it is to run a business. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's interesting though, because like Rampage, from a business perspective, do you feel that Pride and the way you interacted with Pride making deals was worse or better than the way you interacted with UFC making deals personally, not with your manager?
Well, I didn't get that many deals in Pride. I remember Kevin Randerman and Mark Coleman, they always had like nice sponsors out there. I used to be kind of jealous of them. I'm like, man, you guys got big.
Wait, you talking about sponsors or actual like contractual?
Sponsors. I don't know on the contract. See, when we was fighting Pride, we couldn't talk about each other's contract because they was fucking me over big time.
What do you mean?
We couldn't disclose how much our purse was, how much money we was making.
Like that was in your contract that you couldn't say it.
You couldn't talk
Who
about
told
it.
you that?
My contract told me that. But
You get your finger cut off, right?
Oh, yeah. Heath Herring one time, man, Heath Herring, we used to hang out. And one time he was asking me, he said, man, how much you getting paid? I was like, come on, man. You know I can't tell you that. You know, we just hanging out by ourselves, you know, kicking it. And he was like, come on, man. I ain't gonna say shit. Tell me. You know, we boys. I was like, I told him, I'm saying, man, I'm getting $30,000. He was like, man, you getting fucked. You getting fucked over. I was like, what? For real? And I was like, how much you getting paid? He said, you know I can't tell you.
Oh, my.
He never told me.
So you never knew how much he was getting paid?
No, but
did you renegotiate?
Hell yeah, that's when I started having problems with Pride. Because my first fight there, I fought Sakuraba, it was a short notice fight. I got paid $10,000.
No.
Yeah, I was supposed to fight Ken Shamrock.
They give you some in the back or anything?
No, they didn't give me shit. I was supposed to fight Ken Shamrock. I had enough time to train for Ken Shamrock, and I was only getting $5,000 to fight Ken Shamrock.
Stop.
No, remember, at this time, I'm nobody. I'm just first
$5,000 to fight Ken Shamrock.
and that was a lot of money. That was been the most money I ever made at that time. I was fighting King of Cage level.
How much were they
so
paying
you went from King to Cage to Pride?
Yeah, I went straight from King of Cage to Pride. It was Terry Trevorcock who hooked me up with Pride. Still love that guy to this day. Okay. No, and King of Cage, bro, I wasn't making hard as shit. In King of Cage, I wasn't making shit. I think the most I made in King of Cage is probably $1,400-1,500.
You'd be selling tickets for money there.
But I never sold tickets. I'm not from here, so I never really sold tickets. But you know, after I fought Marvin Eastman, he saw how my fight style. I put butts in seats if you just let people know I was there. That's why I had to wear the chain all the time because people know who I was. And so I went there and I fought Pride for 10 grand. And I needed that money. I left everything back home to come out of California to fight. So that 10 grand paid me cash. It was good. Then I worked my way up to $30,000. And by that time, I was a big name in Pride, and I was still making 30 grand. And guys like Darren Henderson and all those guys, they was making like $200,000-300,000 cash. And I was like, and I didn't know.
It's weird how it works, right? When you like 30,000 seems like a lot, right?
Yeah.
I remember when I was making that, like I was like, dude, I'm fucking banking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I go buy a new motorcycle, whatever,
Right.
and then you broke, you know,
Yeah.
and then you got to fight again.
Yeah.
You know? And now, so that's where I'm at now. Cause like my last fight, I made $350K, right? Which was, you know, the win, knockout bonus, everything. Sponsors, everything. And now I'm like, that really ain't shit though.
No,
you think that's like such big money, but
After
I'm like,
taxes?
and I'm like, when I make $1 million, that fucking 350 ain't gonna feel like nothing. Because I'm not gonna fall in that same trap of like, you know, when I made my 30K, when I made my 50K, I thought I was doing real well. I'm like, I'm not gonna fall in that trap and think my 350 is doing well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember I used to make cash in Pride. Then
That's that famine mindset.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's where we come from. You come from Memphis, right? You're a poor kid, right? Yeah, that's like gigantic money when you're a poor kid.
Yeah.
Like
they give you 3 stacks right there, brand new money. I'm like, oh, this is the most money you ever held. I used to have to take the money home and hide it from myself in my room because I would go through it so fast. I used to find money in my closet like months later. Like, oh shit, I remember I put some money away. Like, goddamn, it was like a good day.
It's a nice surprise, though. Huh?
Yeah.